I only cracked him once. Don't worry about him. That's the sentence Blueface froze on. Sat with it. Rolled it around in his mouth like a bad taste he couldn't spit out. And somewhere between that clip and the next breath, dude decided he wasn't a boyfriend anymore. He was a curriculum. A walking, cheating, mocking syllabus with a due date attached to it. Nevaeh is carrying his kid in a few weeks, and this man is on stream inventing new categories of masculinity to explain why he keeps playing in her face. Y'all, this isn't a relationship anymore. It's a hostage negotiation with a philosophy degree. Real quick before we dig in, if the messy Blueface universe is where you live rent-free, tap the like, hit subscribe, ring the bell. This one's about to peel back layers the timeline glossed over. Let's get in. The stream in question dropped this past week. Blueface, legal name Jonathan Michael Porter, 28, Los Angeles, went live with Nevaeh Akira, his pregnant girlfriend, and, per his own complex confirmation, the mother of his soon-to-arrive third child. The baby is reportedly due in August. And on that stream, in front of live chat watching in real time, Blue laid out, clinically, why he treats her the way he does. The trigger? Nevaeh's ex, an LA rapper going by Taboo, also known as Supernova, had spent the previous week dragging her name across every platform he could log into. The quotes that set the room on fire. Let's just let the words breathe first. No spin. Here's Blueface on stream, explaining the framework, because in his head, this is a framework, not an excuse. A solid in asterisk is going to hold you accountable and let you know that throughout the whole pregnancy, hey, this decision you made right here was not solid. Asterisk, he paused. Then, and this is why we make boof decisions, and this is why you're getting boof results. Boof. That's the word he built the whole night around. Boof. Nevaeh, defending herself. Some men know that women change. They don't just stick with that forever. His response, flat, almost bored. A layman asterisk don't care about the past. Asterisk, wild. Then Taboo's version, per his own post documented by Hot New Hip Hop and echoed across the timeline. He claims Nevaeh was allegedly homeless when they were linking, insisting she'd show up to his spot carrying both her son and her cat, which to him screamed no permanent address. According to the Shade Room's coverage, he doubled down. Why would you get a cat if you don't have cat litter first? Nevaeh's counterpunch, direct from the stream. I was the one taking that in asterisk on dates. He tried to pay me for a kiss, but I didn't want to kiss him. Asterisk. Okay. And then Blueface, on the same live, casually co-signing the messiness while somehow also being the person who's dating her. It seems like all your stories start the same and end the same. They was on my line. That's not a boyfriend. That's a prosecutor who forgot which side he's on. The weave, because the timing on this ain't random. Here's what most people breeze past. Reference the X situation. Reference the pregnancy timeline. Now put them next to each other. Per Instagram documentation from Papa Blue's own stream, Nevaeh confirmed she's around 18 to 19 weeks pregnant, counting from her last period in November 2025. Do the math on that conception window. Then look at when Taboo went public with this "she was staying at my crib" claim. Then look at when 3 separate men started posting. Taboo, Supernova, and a third figure, each hinting they could potentially be the father, which Instagram footage of Nevaeh's response confirms she's now consulting legal counsel over. Now watch this. Blueface didn't lose his mind when the exposés first dropped. He went quiet, almost strategic quiet, and then, after everything settled, he announced, on stream, that was the moment he changed how he treats her. Not a fight, not a breakup, a recalibration. He's calling it a life lesson. What it actually looks like from the outside is a man building a permission structure for himself to cheat, in front of an audience, with a pregnant partner, and get the internet to nod along. That's not accountability. That's PR. And, actually hold up, back up, this is the part that's the part. He's not just doing it. He's narrating it. Publicly. That's not a private failing that leaked. That's a broadcast strategy. Zoom the lens. One word doing all the work. There's one word doing more damage in that live than any of the accusations flying around it. Liquid. Not the sub. Not the album. The metaphor Blue built the whole ideology on. A liquid in asterisk 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 just goes. It's watery. You can walk through it. Asterisk meaning any man who accepts Nevaeh's past without punishment is soft, permeable, disposable. And Blueface, in his framing, is the solid one. The rock, the barrier, the one who makes her feel the consequence. Here's the forensic problem with that. He never once, across the entire stream, argues that his own past should be measured by the same yardstick. Not once. This is a man who, per the Hollywood Unlocked timeline, has publicly disowned a child, reconciled with an ex who allegedly stabbed him, cycled between Krazian Rock and Jaden Alexis in a loop the internet documented for years, and is now on his third confirmed child with a third woman. If the metric is solid versus liquid, dude is a puddle, a whole reservoir. But the rule only applies downward, only toward her. That's not a philosophy. That's a one-way mirror. And catch this. The moment Nevaeh started defining what a solid person actually looks like, his response wasn't to engage. It was to call her masculine. Because in the framework he built, a woman who defends herself with logic is no longer a woman. That's masculine right there. You talking over me. Meanwhile, he'd been steamrolling her for 40 minutes. The trap's designed so she can't win it. How the room split. Different corners of the internet ran different plays on this. The blogs, Shade Room, all about the tea, mostly stuck to the surface fireworks. Who said what? Which clip went viral? Shade Room's post on Carlis's involvement framed the drama through Blueface mother's angle. Carlis's Saffold going viral for saying Nevaeh lacked father figure guidance, which framed the whole story as generational rather than relational. That's a choice. That decision moves the conversation away from Blue's behavior and toward Nevaeh's upbringing. Sneaky pivot. The team Blueface corners, you know the ones, leaned all the way into the life lesson framing. Screenshots of his stream monologues went up as if they were TED Talks. He's teaching her. Whole comment sections calling him a philosopher. The countercamp, honestly the loudest one. This is textbook manipulation dressed up in Twitch vocabulary. And the Steelman for the Blueface framing goes something like, if she really did what these men are saying, isn't he entitled to react? Sure, Steelman granted. React. Break up. Walk away. Demand a DNA test, which she's already agreed to per her legal response statement. What he chose instead was to stay, cheat, broadcast it, and monetize the humiliation. That's not a reaction. That's a strategy. The shift you can feel in the room now, the vibes turning. Even fans who rode for him through the Krazian chapters are logging off this one. Because there's a difference between chaos and cruelty, and this stream crossed something. The read nobody's saying out loud. Mainstream take is he's just being toxic Blueface. Same movie, new co-star. That's the comfortable read. Try this instead. What if the life lesson framework isn't about Nevaeh at all? What if it's inventory management? Follow me here. Blue's a rapper whose musical relevance has been on a slow fade for years. The Wikipedia trajectory tracks it plainly. The boxing pivot, the reality show pivot, the podcast pivot, each one a smaller platform than the last. What he still has, undeniably, is engagement. Streams, clips, reaction videos, blogs quoting him. The Blueface cinematic universe is a content engine, and the fuel is drama. Now, a boyfriend who publicly humiliates his pregnant girlfriend on stream and invents a whole vocabulary to justify it? That's clip gold for weeks. That's 10 reaction channels eating for a month. That's an algorithmic buffet. The boof and solid versus liquid framing wasn't for Nevaeh. It was for the timeline. Those are memes designed to spread. Someone's already made a t-shirt. Someone else is already using "that was boof" in a caption. The vocabulary is the product. And if the vocabulary catches, the story never dies, which means the streams keep running, the sub count keeps climbing, and the ecosystem keeps feeding. Nevaeh isn't the audience. She's the set piece, which is grim, because the person carrying his kid is being cast as a supporting character in her own life on a live broadcast. And the sharper you look, the more it seems like everyone in the room understands that except her. She's fighting for a relationship. He's writing a season finale. The opposition to this read will say, "I'm reaching." They'll say he's just wired this way, no strategy behind it. Fair, dude's absolutely capable of pure impulse. But the repetition is what gives it away. Every serious moment on that stream, he pivots back to the coined phrases. Boof decisions. Liquid in asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, you don't repeat vocabulary that hard unless you know it's landing. He knows. The man's not toxic by accident. He's toxic on brand. Where this is headed. The most likely path. Nevaeh has the baby in August. Does a DNA test that clears the paternity noise, and the two of them stay in a loop for another 6 to 8 months of on-again, off-again content before proper explosion. The pattern's already documented across 3 prior Blueface relationships. Same beats, same escalation, same eventual TMZ headline. Watch how fast the life lesson framing gets abandoned once the baby's actually here, though. That vocabulary only works while she's the villain. Once there's a newborn in the mix, the internet's patience for the philosopher act evaporates. The path that flips everything, Nevaeh walks. Not tomorrow, not next month, but once that child is born and she's got a legal foothold via child support. Don't be shocked if the whole "I don't care if he cheats" energy she's projecting right now reveals itself as a stall tactic. Women who publicly minimize damage on stream are almost always privately building an exit. Once she's out, this solid versus liquid doctrine collapses instantly because the whole framework depended on her staying to be lectured. No student, no professor. He becomes just a guy who said boof a lot in 2026. The aftershock 5 years out, this is the part that lingers. That kid is going to grow up, and at some point, watch these clips. All of them. The "I'll be the bad guy" monologues. The public humiliation. The "you're not a solid person" speech directed at their pregnant mother. And whatever Blueface builds between now and then better be a hell of a redemption arc. Because the archive is the archive. YouTube doesn't forget. His next serious relationship will get compared to this one before it starts. That's the residue. Every woman who dates him from here forward walks in with the entire Nevaeh footage as required reading. The life lesson he thought he was teaching? He was actually publishing his own scouting report. Cool trick, philosopher. You lectured yourself into a corner. Alright, that's the read. If this hit different than the recycle versions floating around, do the thing. Like, subscribe, bell on, and drop your honest take in the comments. Solid or liquid, I want to hear it. Part 2 on Nevaeh's response strategy is already loading. Y'all know where to find us. Celeb Virex out.